To quote the X-Files, the truth is out there. But these days it may be harder to find than ever, with reports, rumors, and conspiracy theories all around the existence of things like aliens have been around for generations. Of course, remember the War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells? Well, today, thanks to the growth of technology like generative artificial intelligence and social media, these things can spread at warp speed. Case in point. You might have seen that story out of Mexico last week. A ufologist with a rather controversial history presented what he claimed and showed were mummified alien bodies to the Congress of Mexico. There they are. He claimed they are about 1,000 years old and discovered in a remote part of Peru. The story took off like wildfire, spreading quickly across social media news platforms. Some experts have since dismissed the claim, saying the ufologist failed to provide evidence. Hard proof those were actually mummified aliens. Also, they've pretty much looked like extraterrestrial second cousins. But the spaceship already left, so to speak. It already left the barn. And it's highlighting scientists' concerns that any true alien discovery could be dismissed by skeptical publics who better talk about all of this. Neil DeGrasse Tyson, the most famous astrophysicist around and author of a new book, To Infinity and Beyond. And beyond, I love having you back on because my son's favorite book literally is Astrophysics. For young people in a hurry, now he thinks I have a real job. Thank you very much for coming. You know, we're talking about all this stuff and it's crazy, but your book goes into some things like the existence of black holes, and could that entail a way for there to be almost like the wormhole concept in science fiction?
The way to think about this is that wormholes are theoretically possible, and if you ask, how would you create one? Well, you need something that has the opposite force of gravity, like negative energy density or negative matter, which could then pry open a portal. We don't know what that is or what that would be. So it sounds very science fiction-y, but what we detail in the book, To Infinity and Beyond, is go back several hundred years and stand there flat-footed, looking up to the moon. And if I said, how would you ever get to the moon? You'd say, I don't know. Do I sail there? Do I take a balloon there? And I say, no, you need this magic, mysterious substance called jet fuel, and you need a jet. And so that's the same conversation I'd be having with them that an advanced culture might be having with me about the existence of wormholes.
And when you're researching this book, what was maybe the one thing that surprised even you about what you found? I mean, whenever I think about the universe, I get my mind hurts.
Yeah, the book doesn't just skim where everyone explored and didn't die or didn't make a mistake, right? It tells you all of the fits and starts that we experienced as a species, attempting to ascend from Earth into the air, into the vacuum of space, to the moon, Mars, and beyond, and the beyond is now with our emissaries. So what I learned from the book is how many more errors and mistakes we made than I had ever imagined. And we detail those, not to say, well, these people were idiots. No, somebody has to make the mistake for Icarus. Icarus, do you say, well, I will never fly again because he died? No, you'll say, if I make wings, I ain't making them out of wax, okay? So this is how you ascend on the errors and missteps of others.
I'm going to say something. I'm not embarrassed to say it. And you can tell me that if I'm completely wrong, and the audience would probably love that, Neil, so please do just, based on statistical probabilities, the number of solar systems and galaxies likely. I would, if somebody asked, do you believe in extraterrestrial life? I would say without a doubt that I do. I don't know if it still exists. It may have already disappeared. Maybe it's being created right now, and in 1 billion years, something will emerge from a pond. I don't know. Is that fair to say?
Anyone who has studied the problem agrees. The universe is vast. The number of stars is enormous. The number of planets around those stars is enormous. The ingredients of life itself are everywhere. We're made out of the most common ingredients in the universe. So it's a different question to say, are these lights and fuzzy objects in the sky visiting intelligent aliens? We don't know what they are. We can identify some of them, not all of them. But I've mentioned this before, just because you don't recognize something doesn't mean you know what it is. That is what the U stands for in unidentified flying object, or the rebranded abbreviation the government uses, UAP. Who they're hitting, right? Unidentified aerial phenomena, same thing.
There's a lot of stuff going around, though. You got the point that social media can amplify this deal.
And amplifies it instantly. I do not have a problem with that. The aliens in Mexico, glad they put them forth. Now, we share that with other scientists so that we can decide, is it a hoax? Is it verified? That's how science progresses.
Yeah, well,
not by the lone wolf saying, I have the thing that nobody else has, and it is real. No, we have to double check that.